Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again. As always, what we're going to do today, guys, have a quick conversation about landlords, private landlords, who obviously rent out their properties to people who can afford to stump up the rent each month to live in their houses. And the reason I want to bring this up is because I've got a friend of mine, right, who rents privately. And his landlord just seems to refuse at every possible juncture to do some repairs on the house. Like, for example, he has been wanting a boiler repair for the past 6 weeks. It has still not been done. He goes days without hot water and without heating. And he's got kids in the house, very, very young kids. And it's very cold. It's coming towards the end of October now. It's going to get a lot more colder, and his boiler is still up the spout. He also has a roof that needs repairing. He is looking at having another baby with his missus, and him and his missus have to move up to the attic because he had to save on space because he's already got kids, etc. But he's got a leaky roof, and it's leaking down the walls, it's putting mould on the walls, etc. And he's told his landlord for the past 6 months to come and sort this out, but it's still not been done. It's like he is using my mate as a cash cow. And I think most landlords are like this. Not all of them. They do get some good landlords. I'm not tarnishing everybody with the same brush. But it doesn't stop my mate's landlord putting up his rent. It's just gone up now by another 50 quid, I think, a couple of weeks ago. It's now 720 odd, I think he pays per month to stay in this house. And it's not fit for human consumption. I've been over there. It's mouldy. It smells. It's damp, it's cold, it's leaky, and yet he's paying over £700 for the pleasure of staying in this property. Now, of course, I've told him, look, why don't you move, etc., that kind of a thing. But the UK being the way it is, houses now are like rocking horse shit. It's like shitting out Mars bars trying to get a house, either from the council or a private landlord, because yeah, everybody's wanting a house. Not a lot of people can get on the property ladder. I mean, the cost of a house now is astronomical. So first-time buyers cannot get on the property ladder, so they have to go to private landlords. They have to get themselves on a council list. And plus, with the immigrants coming in, being put to the forefront of council waiting lists, they're taking up the houses. So people like me and you, the British public, cannot get a property for love nor money. Now, I see private landlords as blood-sucking leeches, basically. A high percentage of them, like I say, not all of them. As long as you pay your rent, that's all that matters. I mean, astronomical rent. And they don't stop putting up the rent. This is, amazingly, this is one of the very few things I'm actually on board with Keir Starmer and his government. He's looking at making changes for private landlords, putting on rent caps, and making sure that the house is up to scratch, that it's worthwhile to be inhabited by humans, to fix boilers, for example, and fix roofs within a timely time frame, so you're not sitting there for 6 to 12 months freezing your tits off or getting rained on under your own roof. I'm all on board with this. There should be rent caps. I mean, you can't have a landlord charging the earth to stay in a house that's not fit for habitation. So it smells, if it's leaky, if it's damp, if it's full of mould. Especially when you've got children, it can bring on aspirin, a whole host of respiratory illnesses. But as long as the landlord can skip to the bank every single month and draw out his pot of gold, they are pretty much happy. See, at the minute, there's no real set-in-stone rules by law for landlords to shape themselves and do what they're supposed to do. Repair the properties. I mean, it only costs a lot. I mean, a roof repair is a couple of grand you're looking at, but if it needs doing, it needs doing. You've got to get it done. You are getting your rent. You are being paid by someone to use something that you're putting out for their service, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Just a bit of a moan. And I want to hear if you've had any horror stories yourself while you were growing up, or even now if you're private renting and you need some repairs done to your house and your landlord seems quite blasé about it all, just fobbing you off with excuses and broken promises. Oh yeah, I'll come and do it then and then and then. And the time comes and it never actually happens. I had the same when I was kind of going back a few years here. I must have been in my mid-20s. I was with a bird. Started living with her, etc. We were together for about 2 or 3 years. Moved in together, and much less happened the same there. We didn't have any radiators in the house. We wanted central heating. We're fucking freezing Baltic cold, and we were being charged like £500 to live in this place. But it was stone cold. It was damp. Again, it was smelly. So yeah, that thankfully that relationship didn't last very long. She was a psychopath. She was proper bunny boiler. Anyway, guys, please do share your stories with me in the comments. I want to know if you've had any experiences with private landlords. And yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.